Hi, this is Paul. I wanted to make a video because a few weeks ago I made a video on my channel, about saying my theory that Savitar was Wally West. Wally West had been trapped in the Speed Force and went insane, and of course, gone crazy and wants revenge against Barry for not rescuing him, and then that's hence he's crazy. That's why he wanted to kill Iris, because he wanted to hurt Barry in the worst possible way. Okay, that was my theory. Uh, because he had got trapped in the Speed Force. In that episode where Savitar basically fools him into freeing him. Okay, so I thought it was like a vicious loop, and then of course Savitar has to trap Wally, so eventually he becomes sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy that he has to trap Wally in the Speed Force to get free in order for Wally to become Savitar. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle thing. But of course, my opinion changed when this recent episode well, excuse me, I'm sorry, my dark horse candidate was maybe a future Barry, maybe that he went insane or something, but a future Barry that wanted to kill. And again, like I said with Wally, people say, why would he want to kill Iris? Because he's crazy, okay? And maybe all that time traveling and stuff, maybe it warped his mind. Of course, and then there's the theory that Flash. Remember that newspaper article that said Flash vanishes? So maybe that when he vanishes, that's the reason, because he becomes Savitar. He's trapped in the Speed Force and becomes Savitar. Okay, so then he wants revenge against his younger self for making all those foolish mistakes. So that was my dark horse candidate, future Barry becoming Savitar. Now, my opinion changed on that, and I have three candidates, I guess, uh, and I'll tell you how I feel about each one. And the first one up, based on this past episode that we just saw, the one where Barry travels to the future, okay, and discovers that Team Flash has been disbanded, that he failed, he didn't, the future self didn't live up to the promise he made to Iris that he would, watch out for his dad and keep the team together, but he didn't do that. Okay, he basically fell into a funk and let the team disband and go their separate ways. Okay, now based on what happened, of course, because he went to the future to ask his future self or find out what the identity of Savitar so he could go back and stop him. But he found out his future self never found that out, and that he actually trapped Savitar in Speed Force with the help of a scientist that invents this technology. Okay, but he doesn't know, so he actually goes to meets the various team members, and he goes to see I forgot, Julian, and Julian is in Iron Heights taking care of a captured Killer Frost, and she knows who Savitar is. She says she knows, and of course she's not going to tell him, and she says he's going to be surprised about who it is. Okay, and of course, so she doesn't tell, so he still doesn't really know. So he goes back, and now let's flip back to towards the end of the episode. Killer Frost is basically on the run, and she's in a park somewhere, and then of course who approaches her but Savitar, and basically said he wants her to reach her full potential, and basically he reveals himself to her, and she immediately agrees to team up with him, no hesitation, nothing, and she agrees. And so that got a lot of people thinking that maybe Savitar is Ronnie Raymond, who died in season one, closing that singularity that that was in the end of the first season. He died on that, and people thought maybe, of course, it's Ronnie Raymond. Okay, so maybe he wants revenge against Barry for basically causing him to supposedly die and lose Caitlin. And people thought, well, why else would she agree so fast to join up with Savitar? But remember, she's evil. Okay, so anything to hurt Team Flash, why wouldn't she just do it? Okay, and I thought maybe it was him too at first. I thought that's a possibility. That's the reason why she would agree to it so fast to team up with Savitar. That it's because it's Ronnie. But then again, if it was him and she thought he was dead, wouldn't she have more of a stunned reaction when Savitar revealed himself to her, when he took off the suit and came out of the suit? Wouldn't she be more like surprised or happy or whatever? More of a visual reaction, which she had. She just went, when she revealed, she said, "Okay, I'll go." So, but then again, maybe that's misdirection by the producers. Okay, so Ronnie Raymond is suspect number one. So I was feeling it at first, but then more and more, I think maybe it's not him. Okay, again, because he was part of the firestorm. Why would he invent in the way Savitar talks? He's consumed with speed and stuff. So that's why I didn't think it's him. Okay, okay. Second choice. Uh, second choice again. Not Barry. No. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Again, Barry. That's again. That's another one. I guess that's more of a stronger choice now. I think again because it could be again a future version of Barry that's went insane or something for whatever reason or stuff, and he wants revenge against his younger self because he feels his younger self has screwed up the timeline and made so many mistakes that he wants to hurt his younger self. I know that makes no sense and it's crazy, but think about it. Savitar is nuts to begin with. He thinks he's a god, a speed god, okay? And he claims to be the first uh, speed guy and all that stuff. So maybe it is a future Barry that's just went insane, okay? So, but now I'm thinking that's a possibility as well. But then again, Caitlin, wouldn't she be surprised if Savitar revealed herself and it's Barry? Wouldn't she say, wouldn't she have more like a stun reaction if it was him? So that's why I'm thinking it's not Barry either, a future Barry, or any type of version of Barry, even a future or a corrupt version of Barry. She would have Caitlin or Killer Frost. She knows who Barry is. She would be, you know, she would have like a stun reaction to that. Now the third person who I thought about this guy before, but then I kind of dismissed it. This person, but now I think it is him. I'm thinking more and more that it is Jay Garrick is Savitar. Okay, now why you say Jay? Why would it be Jay Garrick? Because remember, Barry left him in the Speed Force. Well, he actually volunteered to take Wally's place. So he said he did it as a favor to Barry to get Wally out of the Speed Force. Okay, and so basically he's stuck in the Speed Force. Okay, and what if after a while in the Speed Force he went crazy? Okay, and he's a speed guy anyway, and he builds the suit and becomes Savitar. Why not? Because he's stuck in the Speed Force. Another guy that's stuck in the Speed Force. And then Barry never saves him, and he wants revenge. And he goes crazy, and he becomes Savitar. And hence he wants revenge against Team Flash and Barry specifically, which I think kind of works. And Barry would be stunned by that. Again, I know that's another mentor that's basically betrayed him again. But I think it works that. And it would be a shock to him to see the guy who has the face of his father, who he considers a friend, a close personal friend, who's done so many things for him, who he rescued before from Zoom, is Savitar. Now I think that would be stunning. Okay, so I'm going to go with Jay Garrick. I was thinking about Ronnie Raymond, but I don't think Ronnie Raymond makes sense in Caitlin's reaction. I know they keep hinting that it's somebody close to Team Flash, somebody that knows them inside and out. Okay, and why wouldn't Jay Garrick know them? Because after they rescued him and he spent time with them, so he knows them. I mean, he don't know everything about them, but he knows pretty much. I'm sure Barry. They've had conversations, and Barry's told him all about Cisco and everybody, and he's been there before with them when he rescued him, so he knows Team Flash. So it makes sense that maybe a corrupt Jay Garrick, who went insane, is and he wants revenge against the Flash. It makes perfect sense. Okay? So that's why I think he is. It makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense. Jay Garrick. Okay? Savitar. It makes perfect sense to me. Okay? Because again, I kept thinking about Wally, and then maybe that again, Wally, what I said about the loop thing, that Wally went insane. But remember, he got trapped in the Speed Force. And who else? But then again, when they had that future version, when Barry went to the future and he saw Wallace was paralyzed from the fight with Savitar, and has like this catatonic state, would Jay Garrick cause him to be? Well, maybe Jay Garrick would cause him to be catatonic. I know people say, well, maybe if it was future Barry, of course he'd be catatonic. Saying because you said why would Savitar Barry kill Iris, the woman he loves, his sister, so that would stun him. Okay, and I think it would be not equally stunned, but I think he'd be stunned if it was Jay Garrick too, because as far as he knows, Jay Garrick is a hero. So I think that would be stunning to him too. That would probably shock him as well. Okay, so I'm going to lean on Jay Garrick being Savitar. I had thought about it when Jay Garrick was telling the Flash about Savitar before we got to see Savitar. He was telling him about him, and I remember that I think there was like even a fight that Jay Garrick had with Savitar. Okay, that's when you couldn't see him, but he had that in an earlier episode. He had a fight with Savitar. So if I had to bet money, I'm going to bet Jay Garrick because again I thought Wallace, but then it makes no sense. I mean, even though I know I said to myself that he went crazy, so that's why he wants to kill Iris, because he wants to hurt Barry in the worst possible way. And what other way to do that is to kill the woman he loves, even though that's his sister. But like I said, he's walked from being in the Speed Force, so hence, and then again, Barry, a future Barry, who's gone crazy and suddenly wants revenge against his future younger self because he thinks his younger self keeps screwing up the timeline, and the only way to stop him from screwing up further is to kill Iris, and that because he knows that would be the one thing that would drive him, that would make him give up the speed and destroy him. And maybe he does. Future Barry wants to destroy his younger self and stop him from making mistakes. Okay, and of course he thinks he's a speed guy and all that other stuff. So, but I'm thinking Jay Garrick. It has to be. Okay, again, Jay Garrick. I'm thinking Jay Garrick. I just think it has to be, because I think that Caitlin, of course, she would be. I think she would be, surprised about Jay Garrick being Savitar, but I think in her own way, not Caitlin or Killer Frost would see the delicious irony in that again, another one of Barry's mentors is his greatest enemy. Okay, I think that's why I think Killer Frost would see the irony in that and would immediately join up with him to destroy Team Flash because she's evil, and that would make perfect sense to her. And I also think, like when she told him in the future that he's going to be surprised by it, although he shouldn't be at this point with the mentors he keeps getting. Every mentor he's had so far has ultimately betrayed him. But I'm going to go, yeah. But what I think is going to happen actually in the last episode, I think that device that HR, the other Wells, has created, where you can just basically disguise yourself as another person with the facial features. Instead of that being Iris, it's going to be somebody else. It might be HR himself. I think that might die ultimately, even though I love what Scott's done with that character. Okay, I think he may do that and make the ultimate sacrifice and disguise himself as Iris, so that way when Savitar comes to kill Iris, he really has HR, and then he actually kills HR. And when you see HR with the gun, that's really Iris. Okay, and that's what I think is how they're gonna resolve that. Well, it's gonna look like there's not gonna be no way they're gonna stop Savitar, and then they pull that trick, the ultimate trick. I think HR is gonna make that sacrifice for Team Barry, and that way, and they're gonna stop. And of course, I think in this upcoming episode, they're gonna be looking for the doctor that creates that technology, and Killer Frost is after her because I think Savitar knows that she's the one that builds the thing that future tech. So I think Savitar sends Killer Frost after her, and I think ultimately, they're going to rescue her, but I don't think she's going to be able to create the technology in time to stop Savitar. Meaning that scene is going to play out. It's going to play out with him seemingly killing Iris, but it's not going to be Iris. It's going to be somebody else. I think it's going to be HR disguised like that. I hope they don't kill Joe. Okay, I really don't, because I like the actor Jesse Martin who plays. Don't kill him off. I really hope they don't do that. But I think it's going to be somebody disguised as Iris with that technology HR had. It's going to, so Savitar thinks it's going to be Iris, but it's not going to be Iris ultimately. And then they're going to stop him. Okay, and they're going to so they actually change the future. Okay, so that's what I think. Anyway, let me know what you think of my wacky theories of who is Savitar. I'm going to go again, Jay Garrick, the real Jay Garrick, who's okay. I'm going with him, and I think it'd be great to have John Wesley Shipp play an evil guy. Even though he's been heroic. He's been his dad, and then he's been the original Flash, Jay Garrick. But now to have him be evil Savitar, I think would be a nice twist, and that's what I'm going to go with. Anyway, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. The links to my other channel is down my main channel, Trey Pastors, in the description box, as well as links to my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram are in the description box below. Please check those out as well. And this is Paul saying so long and take care.